Hey there, prospective volunteers. Yes, we did have a global evacuation of Peace Corps at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, but right now Peace Corps is actually looking to recruit new Peace Corps volunteers to depart in January of 2021. So now is actually the perfect time to review and revisit your Peace Corps resume and see what tweaks you can make. And what kind of credibility do I have? I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer who served in Nicaragua from August of 2016 to April of 2018. I've also had this channel on which I have been advising prospective Peace Corps volunteers for over 2 years. So go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this one. In today's video, we are going to be actually taking a look at the resume that I used when I applied to Peace Corps. Now, right off the bat, I'm just gonna say this video is not about how to format your resume. This is about what sort of things should appear on your resume to help you stand out as a prospective Peace Corps volunteer. Recruiters are going to be comparing the 3 countries that you applied for and the respective projects with what appears on your resume. So you are going to want to make sure that the countries that you applied for have projects that are in line with what appears on your resume. To give you all a little bit of context, because I'm going to be comparing the countries I applied for with the resume, I applied to 3 countries in the following order: Peru, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. Nicaragua was my #1 choice because it was the only education project that I applied for. It was a TEFL project, and the other 2 were youth and development. I knew for a fact that I wanted to apply for Peace Corps projects in Latin America because I am bilingual in English and Spanish, but I also selected these projects because they were most in line with my talents and abilities. So with that background in mind, let's go ahead and imagine that I am a Peace Corps recruiter at headquarters, and I see that Andrea applied for these 3 projects, youth and development and education, in Peru, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the resume and compare how in line everything is. All right, so right off the bat, I'm thinking youth and development and education, and at the very top of the resume it says Master in Education Bilingual Teacher Pathway. Right away, this resume stands out. Why? Because the majority of people who apply to the Peace Corps are undergrads. Does that mean that you don't have a chance of getting in, or you are less competitive because you are coming out of undergrad? No, not at all, but you're gonna have to find different ways to stand out than just your bachelor's degree. Everybody who applies to Peace Corps has to have a bachelor's degree, so if you have any higher level of education, you're immediately going to stand out as having a little bit more experience. In my case, education, which is exactly in line with the project that I applied for, Peace Corps Nicaragua, TEFL education. On top of that, it's Bilingual Teacher Pathway was the master's program that I did. So obviously that already indicates that I have the ability to code switch between languages. I am bilingual. I have some level of cultural competency, all things that a recruiter would be looking for on a Peace Corps application. Below that, I have 4 bullet points. On the 4 bullet points, and I have 4 bullet points below every single thing on my resume, I see my GPA, which was a strong GPA, which looks good to a Peace Corps recruiter. They study really hard, they're dedicated. And then below that, it says, okay, endorsement in middle and high school language arts, graduated with a English for Speakers of Other Languages certificate. Okay, so this applicant applied for a TEFL position, teaching English as a foreign language. They already hold an English for Speakers of Other Languages certificate, which is essentially the domestic version of a TEFL certificate. So that looks good. You already have some experience in teaching English to people who don't speak English. On to the next level is Bachelor's of Arts in English and Spanish. Okay, so that particular bachelor's degree does stand out a little bit because one of my majors was Spanish. I'm applying for all Latin America positions. That shows that I have some level of proficiency in Spanish, the language that I would be using in those countries of service. Now you might be saying, oh my goodness, I got an undergraduate degree in philosophy. Well, if you are still in undergrad and you're, watching this video as a freshman or a sophomore, consider getting a minor, if your university offers it, consider getting a minor in the language of the country of service where you hope to serve one day. So if you're hoping to serve in an African country, for example, many of those countries really are looking for folks who already have some level of French proficiency. So if you're able to do that, that'd be great. If you're looking at Latin America, some level of Spanish proficiency would look good, but definitely a minor in a language would look good on a Peace Corps application, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. Looking at education overall, I see, okay, they already have experience in education, which is in line with both of the sectors that I applied for, youth and development and education, TEFL. And also I see that they have some level of Spanish proficiency. Do I know what level? No, because you can definitely do an entire minor in a language and not actually be able to speak it. But I know that they have some level of proficiency, which is good. Below that, I dive into experience. So here I'm kind of, looking at it, but the thing that is going to stand out to me the most, and this is actually advice that I got from a returned Peace Corps volunteer when I was applying, which is statistics. You want statistics on your resume, numbers, how many hours, how many people, what was your impact. On here, I do have assistant educator and mentor. Okay, I was a graduate assistant, so obviously I have some experience beyond just my label of being a master in education. Next, it says support for student mentors. Okay, interesting, but that's not that exciting. Resident, program assistant, and mentor. Oh, okay, they work with student leaders from the MENA region and the Middle East Partnership Initiative. Okay, that looks a little bit interesting because they have worked with people from other countries. So that stands out a little bit. And again, I'm just reviewing my experience without diving into the statistics just yet. And then it also says private Spanish tutor, which, solidifies a little bit more my ability to speak Spanish. Again, just seeing, okay, they were in the bilingual teacher pathway, they have a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish, maybe they speak it, maybe they don't, but oh, they were a private Spanish tutor. You would have to have some level, at least intermediate, in order to be able to tutor Spanish. But let's go ahead and look at the statistics, because this changes things a little bit. So assistant educator and mentor, that was my graduate assistant position. 400 hours and 120 plus students. Wow, okay, this person has been working as a graduate assistant / mentor for 3 years. They have a lot of experience teaching. They don't just have a master in education and they did their student teaching or whatever. They also have teaching experience beyond that. So they could potentially be comfortable in an education position in the Peace Corps. What else? Okay, resident program assistant. When they were working for the Middle East Partnership Initiative, again, 400 plus hours. Impact only 17 students, but wow, they spent a lot of time getting to know these students who were from a different culture than they were. That looks pretty good. They're going to be looking at this really quick, you guys. You gotta be realizing that. So what is going to make your resume pop? Let's go ahead and look at the reverse side. I will say, at the time, this was, one of the first resumes that I was making. I had gotten straight from my undergraduate to graduate degree, so I didn't have a lot of experience. Were I to make a resume today, it would definitely only be 1 page, but hey, I was still able to get into Peace Corps with this 2-page resume, so I guess that's something. Okay, so the next section is volunteer work and internships. Right at the top, it says Officer of Las Mujeres. Okay, so they're involved in extracurriculars at their university. They're not just a student, they're going beyond. Now, why does that look good to Peace Corps? That looks good to Peace Corps because Peace Corps wants to know, are you going to be doing more than just what is asked of you? Which they want you to do. Because really, what Peace Corps is going to ask of you is probably only going to take 10 to 20 hours a week. And you are being paid by taxpayer dollars, so they need to know that you're going to take the initiative to go the extra mile. So seeing that I had extracurriculars, officer of a Latina women's empowerment group, I was a high school AVID tutor, and I was a Spanish advising graduate intern, that shows that I did go the extra mile. And beyond that, when you are a Peace Corps volunteer, there will be different opportunities to be part of different Peace Corps affiliated groups. For example, you might be part of the diversity committee, you might be part of the peer support network, you might be part of a host of different things that are associated with being a Peace Corps volunteer. You could also be helping with mid-service trainings, in-service trainings. They're always looking for volunteers to be able to do more than just their assigned project in their site. So if you have any extracurriculars, definitely put them on your resume. Next, it says workshops, projects, and presentations. Okay, I think this mostly just highlights the fact that I was really involved in the Latino community and also the cultural competency movement that was going on at my university at the time. So I was obviously really involved in a very multicultural setting, and I was comfortable in that setting enough to be in a leadership role. So that definitely stands out. And then at the bottom, it says languages, English and Spanish, native/bilingual proficiency. Aha, okay, so now I know for a fact this person is actually bilingual. Now let's go ahead and talk about the things that appeared in that resume that probably got me into Peace Corps. Number one, the fact that I had a master's degree in education definitely stood out. Remember that all volunteers do have a bachelor's degree, so if you have a higher level degree of any kind or a certificate that you did to further your education, such as a TEFL certificate, ESOL certificate, or anything like that, definitely include it. If you speak any other language beyond English, definitely include that on your resume. Even if it is not a language that is spoken in any of the Peace Corps countries, it is still worth putting in there because it demonstrates that you have the capacity to learn another language, or two, sometimes in Peace Corps you do need to learn more than one language. The other thing that stands out is that I was involved in extracurricular activities. Peace Corps, again, wants to know that you're going to be doing work beyond just the project assigned to you during Peace Corps. Next, definitely something that probably stood out to a Peace Corps recruiter was the fact that I had worked outside of my own community and within my community. So I was really active in the Latino community here in Portland, but I was also working with people from cultures different than my own, namely students from the Middle East and North Africa. So that probably stood out to a Peace Corps recruiter. And the final thing is just including those statistics. So, saying that I had a master in education, I don't know what that person did while they were getting their master in education, but then I was able to see the exact number of hours that they spent as a graduate assistant, as an avid tutor, and that is what made my resume stand out from other applicants. Now let's go ahead and keep the conversation going, because I'm sure a lot of you do have questions about this, or maybe even concerns. The last thing I want to do is dissuade you from applying to Peace Corps, but I want you to be realistic about whether or not you are a viable applicant for Peace Corps. So definitely consider all the things that I included in this video, but I'd also like to hear from some of you. What are some of the things that you are including on your Peace Corps resume that you believe will help you stand out as a candidate? Maybe you are an older applicant, so you have a wealth of experience, a lifetime of knowledge and work experience that you have built up. That would definitely be something to include. Maybe you speak more than 2 languages. Wow, okay, your capacity to learn other languages is probably really high. I would also love to hear from some return Peace Corps volunteers, if there are any of you watching this video. What do you think got you into Peace Corps? What do you think made you stand out from other volunteers? All right, folks, I'm sure you have a ton of questions. Please go ahead and write your questions below, and definitely submit your Peace Corps application, because you never know when they will be sending Peace Corps volunteers abroad again. All right, folks, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video.